Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our expert webinar titled AWS Certificate Manager and Route 53 or 53. I am Priya from SpringPeople. We are India's largest enterprise training provider. I will be your moderator for today's session. In today's session, we have Mr. Parul Kundra with us, a prominent figure in the world of cloud computing and AWS. With an illustrious career spanning over 15 years, he boasts a remarkable list of qualifications and accomplishments. Mr. Kundra's skill set extends to SQL and PL/SQL, demonstrating his prowess in database management. He is also a proficient problem solver using Python, C, and C++, and has a solid grasp of data structures, showcasing his versatility in the world of programming and technology. Having conducted over 100 AWS corporate training sessions, Mr. Kundra specializes in preparing individuals for certifications such as Solution Architect, Advanced Architect, Cloud Practitioner, and System Operation Associate. His training methods are renowned for their effectiveness. To all the participants, you can mention your questions in the chat box, and it will be answered at the end of the session. So, without further ado, let's start today's session. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Parul Kundra to the session.
Thank you so much, Reha, for the introduction, and I welcome you all to today's webinar on AWS Certificate Manager and Route 53. So we are going to discuss what exactly the Route 53 and Certificate Manager is. So if I go and talk on the agenda, we'll talk on what is Route 53, what are routing policies in Route 53, what is AWS Certificate Manager, and with using Certificate Manager, how we can access applications securely via HTTPS instead of HTTP. You might have seen sometime that S comes. Then what is this S meaning? And how we can get this S? So we are going to discuss all these things in today's webinar. So first, we are going to talk on Amazon Route 53. So if I talk on Amazon Route 53, so Amazon Route 53, as it shows in a PPT, that it resolve domain name to IP. It resolved domain name to IP. What exactly the meaning of it is? Or you can register or transfer domain name, or you can do routing based on different criteria. Now, what exactly I'm talking when I'm talking of resolved domain name to IP? That is, Route 53 is a DNS service. So what exactly the meaning of it is? Let me just take you to my AWS console, and let me take you to Frankfurt. So when I take you to the Frankfurt, where one of my server is running, so here SpringPeople server is running. Let me click on this server, and when I copy the public IP of this server, and if I paste the public IP of this server on my browser, what am I getting? I'm getting SpringPeople for all AWS certification needs, and some courses and their duration and this. I would love to share this with all of you so that you can check that are you able to access this server or not. Just give me 1 minute. So I'm sharing the IP with all of you, and you can all click on this IP and let me know that 18.192.61.172 is what is accessible from your system or not. So you all can check that. If it is accessible, then you can post your responses, yes or no, whatever it is. Fine. So make it sure that, and yes, you see this in my browser, it is showing not secure because I'm accessing this site from HTTP, not from HTTPS. Forget about HTTP and HTTPS. How would I remember the number 18.192.161.172? Is it very tough for me to remember, Parul, this IPs? And remember, and imagine if I'm giving you IP of all, let's say Google IP, Facebook IP, and IP of all the servers. Will it be possible for you to remember this number? 100% all of you say no. Why? If I ask you your mobile number, you will 100% give me the answer. But if I ask mobile number of your parents, of your friends, you don't remember that. What do you do that? Let me tell you this. Let's say my mobile number is 1234556. So you will save it by Parul. Let's say another mobile number is 9821692214. You save it via Rahul, something like that. Because remembering name is very easy, but remembering number is very tough. Exactly, remembering IP of all the applications or websites will be very tough for you. So what do? You need names. So that's why we have domain names. And we write domain names and we get it. Let's say if I write www.facebook.com in my browser, I'll be able to access Facebook. But what exactly the IP of Facebook? Where? So Facebook must be running in some server, and that server will have some IP. Fine. Like in this server, the server which I have shown you. So in this server, SpringPeople server, the IP of the server is this, and here you are watching that this 18 dot this application. This you are watching that. But overall question is this: we don't give number to anyone. We give you know domain. Let's say springpeople.com and something like that. So how to do all those things we are going to discuss today. Okay. So coming back to the presentation, Route 53 resolved domain name to IP. What is the meaning of it? So now you see the slide. Let's say in your system when you sit, you type any of fully qualified domain. So let's say you type www.facebook.com or example.com. First of all, it goes to your local DNS resolver. The DNS, whenever you take internet services from your service provider, it's service provider in India. We have Vodafone, Geo. So you get one DNS resolver. The DNS resolver tries to resolve the name to IP. If it has, then it gives you. If it does not has the IP of that particular website or domain, what it does, it takes you to the root server. So it totally takes you to root server. Then you go to a root server and say, hey, I'm looking for example.com. Do you have any information? In the world, we have total 13 root servers located in different part of the world. Now, root server, it has information of TLD. Now, what is TLD? TLD stands for top level domain, the .com, .org, .net, .mil, for country .us, .in for India. Like this, these are top level domain, and the information of these domains are held by root servers. So the first request goes to root servers, and we say that, hey, root server, do you have any information of example.com? Root server says, no, I'm so sorry, I don't have any information, but by looking at this domain name, it is of .com. I can give you information of .com server, because .com is a top level domain, and I can give you. So what it gives? It gives you the IP of, go to the name server of .com TLD. Now your DNS take you to .com top level domain. Now you again go to top level domain .com. You say, hey, name server has given me your information. Do you have any information of www.example.com? Now name server says, I don't have any information of example.com, but yes, I know that this example.com is registered with some authoritative servers like GoDaddy. No, like GoDaddy, we have Namecheap, we have Google. They are all domain providers. So this says I can tell you the information of, or even with Route 53 you can buy a domain. So it gives you a domain, the IP of that particular authoritative servers. Now you go to that authoritative server, let's say it's GoDaddy. So you go to GoDaddy and say, hey, I'm looking for www.example.com. Do you have any information? This top level domain has given me your address. Now this says, yes, I have a information. Even example.com is registered with us, the correct IP of example.com is this. That is, example.com is running in a server. The IP of that server is this. Now my DNS will take that IP, and my DNS will send the IP to me. Who? Me. I am the end user. I will get that IP 192.1. Then by using that IP, when I hit a actual server 192. So I'm hitting the actual server. So now I get a proper image, or when I'm hitting Facebook, so I get the first look of Facebook page and like this. So this is the entire resolving process. How your domain get resolved. It is, you see, you might be thinking that it is very simple when I write www.facebook.com and I see the Facebook page. No, it's not very simple. There are multiple steps which takes place, and finally you get a actual IP of Facebook server. Like here I'm getting finally actual IP of example.com. So this is how it takes. So Route 53 help you for domain name resolving also. Fine. Coming back to what we can do with Route 53, you can resolve domain names to IP, which I have already explained you here. Now you can register or transfer domain name. So you can, the way you purchase domains from GoDaddy, the way you purchase name from Namecheap, then the way you purchase domain from Hostinger, Google, exactly in the same sense, you can purchase domain from Route 53. Can I? Yes. Just give me 1 minute. Now I have attendees, and I have an attendee called Ganeshan. So let's say whether Ganeshan.com is available or not. So what I'll go to where? I'll go to Route 53. So here I'll type ROUTE Route 53. So scalable DNS and domain name registration. Even you can buy domain from here also. So here I'll go and I'll check that whether Ganeshan. So Ganeshan.com is available or not. So I'll click on get started. Once I click on, so here I'm having an option of register our domain. So I can register our domain. So let's see whether this domain is available or not. So let me click on get started. And let me enter, I want Ganeshan.com. So Ganeshan, Ganeshan.com. First of all, you will only get domain if it is available. So let me search it. So exception screen is not. Oh, I'm in some other AWS account. Sorry for that. So let me come to my account, Parul Kundra's account. This is the user which I have created. So let me go to, just give me 1 more minute so that we can. So first of all, let me click on Frankfurt where my server is running. And then from Frankfurt, so here, and now I'll go to Route 53. Route 53. So I'll go to Route 53 and I'll click on open new tab. So when I click on open new tab in Route 53, so if I want to register, so I click on register domain. So I wanted to check whether Ganeshan.com is available or not, because I want this domain. So when I want this domain, I wanted to check out. So let's see whether it is available or not. So I type here Ganeshan, Ganeshan, Ganeshan.com. So let me search it. Ganeshan.com is not available because it has already been taken by someone else. So you can go with GaneshanOnline.com, which is costing you $14 per year. Ganeshan Info, Ganeshan Group. So it is giving me an option. So the way you purchase domain from GoDaddy, the way you purchase domain from Namecheap, Hostinger, from exactly in the same sense, you can buy domain from Route 53. Let me go to the other option, and then you can do routing based on different criteria. Fine. So coming back to how to do routing and all. So there are different routing we have. So first of all, we create hosted zones. So when we create hosted zone, we have two type of hosted zone. Public hosted zone, from where we want to resolve IP. If we want to resolve IP from internet, so we'll create a public hosted zone. Or if inside the VPC we wanted to resolve the IP, then we'll be creating a private hosted zone. You can read this: route to internet facing resources or route to VPC resources. Fine. So you go to Route 53. So when you go to Route 53, here you have a hosted zone. When you click on hosted zone, my dear friends, when you click on hosted zones, so here when you click on create hosted zone, you get two options. You can go and create what? Public hosted zone, and you can create private hosted zone. Like this you can create. Okay, so like the way, so public hosted zone determines how traffic is routed on internet, and private hosted zone determine how traffic is routed within Amazon VPC. Okay, but Parul, overall, I don't wanted to remember this particular IPs and all. Okay, now let me attach this IP with a particular domain. Now, what I did, from I bought a domain from Hostinger. So let me show you my domain. So if I go to Hostinger, so where is Hostinger? Just give me 1 minute. Yeah. So from Hostinger, I bought a domain, and my domain is vidyadigi.com. So you can see this is my domain, vidyadigi.com. If I click on my domain, fine. So if I go and click on name servers, so these are my name servers. Now, why you are explaining me all these things? So what I'm trying to explain you can buy domain from GoDaddy, you can buy domain from wherever you want. But if you want to take the services of Route 53, then you have to create an exact domain name in Route 53. So what am I going to do? I'm going to create an exact domain in Route 53 hosted zone. So I'll go? I'll go to Route 53. I'll go to Route 53, and here I'll create the exact domain hosted zone which I have purchased from any of the service provider. If it is GoDaddy or any, so I'll create vidyadigi.com, a hosted zone, and it is a public, and then simply I'll click on create hosted zone. So once my hosted zone is created, you will find that a hosted zone something like this. When I click on vidyadigi.com, so what happens here? You get two things: name servers and start of authority. Now, if you are using Route 53 instead of Hostinger, because I bought domain from Hostinger, then you have to change this name servers to whatever domain provider you have. So see, you can see NS1436. I have already changed this. I will not take a time of this. So you can see I've already changed domains here. So NS1436, NS184, NS1874, NS807. I have already changed domain which was provided to me by Hostinger with the domain name servers which is provided to me via Route 53. Now, Parul, why you are using Route 53? Why not Hostinger? So what Route 53 can give me, this Hostinger and GoDaddy not cannot give me. So there are so many facilities which I get from Route 53. Now, what facility you get? So let's start and see what facility we get. So let me show you one server. So I take you to Mumbai now. So I take you to Mumbai. So let me take you to Mumbai. So if I take you to the Mumbai, okay. So here I have servers running, my server 1 and my server 2. Let me click on my server 1, and let me copy the public IP of this server again, and let me paste the public IP of this server. If I press enter, so here Vidya Digi for all your educational needs, Parul Kundra user ID and all, this is my web. But again, Parul, how will I remember this? So Parul, give me some domain name. So instead of this IP, if I attach this IP with some domain, will it not look nice? Yes, it will look nice. So how to do that? First of all, you go to Route 53. Now you know how to create a hosted zone. You create a hosted zone with the same domain name which you have created. And now you simply click on create record. When you click on create record, so here how you wanted to access your vidyadigi.com with full root domain, or you wanted to add learn.vidyadigi.com or something like. So here you can write subdomain. If you don't want, you can go with vidyadigi.com, and simply you paste here the IP of the server where your website is running. So where your app, so this is the IP of my server. Let me copy the IP of my server, Control C. Let me paste it here, the IP. Fine. So only the IP, not this HTTP and all, only the IP. Now the time to live is TTL value, how long your data is going to be cached, this particular IP. So I'm giving only 3 seconds so that it does not take. And routing policy I will teach you, but right now I'm just using simple routing, and simply I'll click a create a record. So when I click and create a record, so everybody just see what happens. If I click on view status, it is saying that it is pending. We'll wait for few seconds or minute, and now the same thing which you are accessing from 13.127, you will access same thing from vidyadigi.com. Trust me, you are going to access same thing from vidyadigi.com. Let me copy this and let me take you to the browser, and let me open one browser in incognito mode. So let me just take you to incognito mode, and let me paste vidyadigi.com, and let me press enter. And you see this? Now I am watching vidyadigi.com, and I'm watching the same page. So what I attached that particular IP with my domain. Now when I'm accessing vidyadigi.com, I'm getting the same page which I'm getting, but again, this is not secure because I'm accessing via HTTP. And today I'm going to teach you how to use HTTPS. Fine. This is one thing. So there are different routing policies which you can get in Route 53. So there are different routing policies. So what are different routing policies which you get in Route 53? It's something like geolocation. Let's go to that. So let's go to that routing policy. So you get simple routing, which I've just used. You can go with failover routing. You can go with geolocation routing. You can go with geo proximity routing, latency based routing, multi-answer routing, and weighted routing. Now, if I would love to tell you, so all this explanation will not be possible in this webinar of 1 hour. So let me give you an example of geolocation routing. So geolocation routing is what I'm trying to tell you. Let's say my application is running in United States in one server. My application is running in India, Mumbai, and my application is running in Singapore. I want that if a request is coming from United States, it should go to a server running in United States. If a request is coming from India, it should go to a server running in India. And if a request is coming from other part of the world, it should go to the server which is in Singapore. So such kind of routing is called geolocation routing, and you can do this. And you can do this with Route 53. So you can do this geolocation routing with Route 53, and which is going to help you to do that. Let's do this. So let's do this. Now, before doing this geolocation routing, now I wanted to show you one more thing. So one more thing is that, so when you are hitting vidyadigi.com, so which server it is hitting, which IP it is hitting, you can also check this. So let me show you. You go to your command prompt. In your command prompt, what you can type, everybody. So in your command prompt, you can type ns lookup. Fine. You press enter, and you give you give the domain of your application. So domain is vidyadigi.com. So if I press enter, so the IP which is hitting is 13.127.201 and 134. Let me check, is it the same IP which we are trying to hit? So let me show you that. Let me discard this. So is it the same IP which we are hitting? So the IP which we are hitting is this 13.127.201 and 134. So you all can open your command prompt. Everybody, see, you all can open your command prompt. You type one command nslookup. After that, press enter and you type vidyadigi.com. And the server you are hitting is 13.127.201 and 134, and exactly the same server we are using. So if I again show you, see, the server which I'm using, the IP of that server is 13.127.201 and 134, exactly the same server. Now I wanted to show you something else. What? So one of my server is having IP 13.127.201, which is running in India, Mumbai. Now let me take you again EC2, again on EC2, but this time I'm taking you to Ohio. In Ohio also one server is running. So here four servers are, so let me take you to Ohio. And Ohio also one server is running. Let me see, let me show you. Yeah, One server is running in Ohio also, my EC2 server 3, and one server is also running in Singapore, EC2. So I'm going to show you how you can do geolocation routing. So let me open one more EC2. I'm showing you three different windows. So I'll show you Singapore also. So Singapore, all these are web servers. Now I can do geolocation routing. So Singapore, see here also one server is running. Fine. So let me click on this server. The IP of this server is 18.142. And let me take you to Ohio. The IP of this server is 3.144. And let me take you to the server Mumbai. And the IP of this is now. Now I wanted to go with geolocation routing. So geolocation routing, you again go to your Route 53. You click on vidyadigi.com hosted zone. Now you delete the previous record which you have created. So let me delete the previous record, this record, and let me delete this record. And now let me create geolocation routing. So when request is coming from India, it should hit this server. When a request is coming from United States, it should hit this server. And from other part of the world, it should hit this server. How you can do that? So you can click on create record. You just put if you want, you can put a subdomain, but I want a root domain only. So if a request is coming from India, so where is India server? This server. So let me copy the IP of this server and let me paste IP here. And which routing I'm using? Everyone, I'm using geolocation routing. So geolocation routing, time to live, I'm only setting 303 seconds only, because otherwise it is location, I'm using India. So if request is coming from India, so I select India, and record ID, I'll check, you can leave it, and record ID I'm using IND. Now, do you have another record? Yes. Let me click on add another record. Yes. Again, if a server is somebody is writing vidyadigi.com, fine. Then it should hit which server? Let's say Ohio server, which is whose IP is this. Let me copy this. Let me paste the IP here. And again, here also I'm using geolocation routing. But right now, I am only giving 3. But this server only be hit when request is coming from United States. So United States. If a request is coming from United States, it should hit 3.144 server. And let's say record ID is US. Do you have another record? Yes. And if a request is coming from other part of the world, because in the world we have, so if it is hitting vidyadigi.com, then they should hit Singapore server. The IP of Singapore server is 18.142. Let me copy this IP. Here also I'm using geolocation routing, and TTL I'm giving only 3 seconds because I don't want to waste your time. And location I'm using default, default, because I'm saying for India server, for US server, and for default means other requests other than India. You should record ID, let's say default. And let me click on create record. So I created a record. You see, a record is created in front of you. If a request is coming from United States, it will hit this server 3.144. If a request is coming from India, it will hit this server. If a request is coming from other part of the world, it will hit this server. But Parul, how to check this? How you can show us? So let me see the status. First of all, it is pending. We'll wait for few minutes, few seconds. Once it is get synced, then I'll be showing you. I'll be showing you how you can check that. Yeah, it is in sync. Now we have one DNS checker application, dnschecker.com. So you can check dnschecker.org. You can click on dnschecker.org. You can click here and you can type whatever application you have. So I have vidyadigi. So vidyadigi.com. Let me click on search. So when I click on search, see, if a request is coming from United States, it is hitting 3.144 server. It is hitting 3.144 server. So let me see. Let me take you to vidyadigi.com. So 3.144 is for United States. Absolutely correct. If it is from India, it should be 13.127. So let me again take you there and search India. So India. So let me search for India. So allow, let me, so if it is coming from other part of the world, then it is hitting 18.142. Yes, you see this. If it is coming from other part of the world, it is hitting 18.142.182.109. And for India, let's go and search India on the top. And let me write India. So if I can, so here, if India, for India, it is hitting 13.127.20.1.134. Let me check that. Is it hitting that? And yes, 13.127.201 and 134 clear. So this is how you can go with geolocation routing. Like this, we have different routing. Now let's understand each routing one by one. Simple is simple routing. Now failover. When you have two server, one you wanted to make it primary and one you wanted to make it secondary. Means if primary fails, only then it should hit the secondary server. And if primary comes back, it should again hit the primary. This is called failover routing. Geolocation I've already shown you. Now let me talk on weighted. Now you have two servers, one in, let's say, Mumbai, and you have another server, one is in Hyderabad. So you have two servers, one is in Mumbai and one is in Hyderabad. Now if you wanted these two servers to divide a weight, let's say 50% traffic should go to this server, let's say 70% of traffic should go to this server, and 10% of traffic should go to this server. Then you can go with weighted routing. You can simply set weighted routing and your request will automatically go to a weighted routing like that. Let me show you that as well. I'm not going to do that, but yes, how you can do, you can click on create record. You give vidyadigi.com. Let's say your request should go to server 6.77.8.9. And here we are using which routing? I'm using weighted routing. So you select weighted routing and here you set whatever TTL you have and here you set weight. So let's say 60. So if you set weight, 60% of traffic will go to this server. You have another record. Yes, add another record. Fine. Now, what is your server? Another server. Let's say another server is 44.55.6.77. Here also I'm using weighted routing. And for this server, 40% of requests should go. So for this, 40% of requests will go to this server and you can create a record. So once somebody is typing vidyadigi.com, so 60% of requests will go to the server, that one, and 40% of requests will come to this server. Fine. Now you must be thinking that Parul, this is where here something called 255 and something is written. So not to get confused from all these things. This is 25 and nothing is done. Here you can write, let's say for one server, you are writing 160. For other server, you are writing, let's say 40. For other server, you are writing, let's say for one server, you are writing 120. For another server, you are writing 60. For other server, you are writing 20. So what is the meaning of it? You add all of it. So what is all of it? 200, 120 plus 60 plus 20, this is 200. Now, if I talk about what is the percentage of this, so what? 120 divided by 200 into 100. So if you divide this and 2, so means 60% of traffic will go to this server where you have mentioned 120. So you can write like that. Now, we have latency routing. Now, what is latency routing? Let's say you have one server in Mumbai and you have one server in Hyderabad. Then your request will go based on latency. Let's say if you are close to Mumbai, then it will check which server is giving you low latency. If Mumbai is giving you low latency, your request will go to Mumbai server. And if Hyderabad is close to you, it will go to this server. Now, kilometer has no relevance over here. Again, I'm repeating, kilometer has no relevance. Let's say if you're close to Hyderabad, but Hyderabad server is very busy. Fine. Here you may get high latency. Then your request may go to Mumbai because from Mumbai you are getting low latency. Fine. So like this, we have different routing. You can go with different routing and accordingly you can do your job, which is actually not available with other, other like GoDaddy and also Route 53. You have so many things which you can go and do, which is the best part which you have with Route 53. Now coming back to the main part, certificate manager. So right now, when I have accessed vidyadigi.com in front of you today, so when I have accessed vidyadigi.com in front of you today, it is not secure. because this request is on HTTP, not on HTTPS. So your connection to this site is not secure because this is HTTP, not HTTPS. So if I wanted to secure this, how to do that? How to make, so you can do this via certificate manager. So how you can, what is certificate manager? So certificate manager, which is called ACM, AWS certificate manager, handles the complexity of creating, storing, renewing public and private SSL and TLS certificates. So what is HTTPS? What is this S? This S stand for this SSL and TLS. So here you add the certificates, and once you add this certificate, your application will be accessed via HTTPS. Otherwise, it will simply be a non-secure access of your application. So with AWS Certificate Manager, it handles the complexity of creating, storing, renewing public and private certificates and keys that protect your AWS website and application. So you can provide certificate for your integrated AWS services either by issuing them directly with ACM or importing from third party. So I'm going to create a certificate from ACM. How to do that? Let's do it and do. So here we are going to do a lab. So we are going to create a certificate using Certificate Manager and using it for secure access of application vidyadigi.com. Now I don't want it to access vidyadigi.com from HTTP. I wanted to access via HTTPS. How to do that? So for that, what we are going to do, we are going to create one VPC. Fine. So we are going to create one VPC, which I have already created. So I've created SpringPeople VPC. For that, I have used the CIDR 20.0.0.0 slash 16. I've already taken this webinars on VPC and all. Then I have created one subnet, which is my public subnet. Fine. Inside that, I have already created a EC2, which I have shown you, Frankfurt. Then I am going to attach this server with load balancer. Once load balancer I get proper DNS of load balancer. Then I'm going to attach DNS of load balancer with Route 53. The way I did. Now, once it is attached with Route 53, still I'm accessing my application on HTTP, but I don't want HTTP //vidyadigi.com. I don't want this. I want HTTPS //vidyadigi.com. So then I'm going to create certificate manager. I'm going to create a record and I'm going to show you how you are going to do that. So it's a very easy, very, very interesting thing and very learning thing. You are going to learn something very good today. So let's do that. So let's do that. So something which I've already created for you. So I'm not going to waste our time, not of yours and not of mine. So here I take you to Frankfurt. So I take you to the Frankfurt, where one of my server is already running. So let me remove all these things. Okay, one of my server is already running. Let me click on my server. So this is the public IP of my server. Yep. Now I'm going to access this from VidyaDigi, but not from only HTTP, from HTTPS. Okay. So how to do that? First of all, let's see what is the VPC of this. So the VPC of this server is SpringPeople VPC, and it is lying in this subnet, my public subnet. Fine. So I've created one VPC inside public subnet. This server is lying. So till now, this part of lab is done. So till now, this part of lab is done. VPC is done. Subnet is done. EC2 is done. Now I'm going to attach it with load balancer, and I'm going to show how to attach load balancer DNS with Route 53. Right now we have added IP with Route 53. Now I will show you how to attach load balancer DNS with. So let's do that. How to do that? I've already taken a load balancer webinar also. Fine. And accordingly I'm moving. So how to do a load balancer? So first of all, I'll also take you to Route 53 and let me delete all those records. And I'll create a fresh record for you. So let me first delete all those records which are attached with vidyadigi.com so that I can create a fresh record for you. Let me click on vidyadigi.com and let me delete all these geolocations which we have created. This one, this one, and this one. So let me click on delete records. Okay, so this is my instance which is running. Now I'm going to attach this instance behind the load balancer. So what I'll do, I'll simply go and click on load balancer. Before creating a load balancer, I should create a target group. First of all, I'll create a target group. Okay, I'm creating a target group. For my instance, I'm creating a target group. And target group, I'm giving a name as a SpringPeople target group. And VPC, where my server is in SpringPeople VPC. So I'll select the same VPC. Health check, I'm not giving any path, and simply I'm clicking on next. This is the server, SpringPeople server. I'll select that and I'll include it. And simple, I'll create a target group. So my target group is created. Simple. Now I'll create application load balancer. I'll go to load balancer and I'll attach this target group. I'll create a load balancer. I'm going to create application load balancer. I'm going to create application load balancer. I'm going to give a load balancer name as SpringPeople load balancer. It's internet facing. Yes. Where we in which VPC? It is in SpringPeople VPC. I'm going to put my load balancer in two subnets for high availability. That is in 1A availability zone and 1B availability zone. Security group, I'm going to use SpringPeople security group. It has port 22, port 80 and port 443 open. And simply I am going to select target group, SpringPeople target group via port 80. And now I am going to create load balancer. So my load balancer is creating and it is provisioning. It will take some time. Let's rest for a few seconds. Let me copy the public DNS and let me access this server from load balancer. So let me press enter. It will take some time because it is provisioning. So we'll wait for some seconds, some minutes, I must say, because it is provisioning right now. So we'll wait for some seconds and minutes so that it get provisioned and we'll use it. It's provisioning. Meanwhile, let me refresh it. Still, I'm not able to access my server via load balancer. So you just see the slide, what we are doing. So first of all, we have created a, let me remove all this rubbish for you so that I can again show you what exactly what we did till now. So we have created a VPC, done. We have created a subnet, done. We have created a EC2, done. We have created a load balancer, done. And we have attached this load balancer to this EC2. Now, first of all, we'll access this EC2 via load balancer. And then the DNS which we are getting from load balancer, I will attach this DNS. And now you see how you attach the DNS of load balancer. I'll show you that as well. So let me go back to load balancer. It is still provisioning. No worries. Let me refresh. So we'll wait for a few seconds more so that this load balancer provision it successfully. Yes. So I am able to access my server via SpringPeople load balancer. But if I give someone, hey, this, have you ever seen somebody giving you this domain? You will get irritated. Hey, what is your domain? It's very bad. How long your domain is? So you don't give your domain. You give domain like VidyaDigi, SpringPeople, Facebook. So you don't give this. So this is a domain of your load balancer. Now you should attach this domain load balancer domain where? This load balancer domain where? This load balancer domain to Route 53. So how you do that? You just copy the DNS of your load balancer. Now you go to Route 53. You create a record. For what record I'm creating? I'm creating a record for VidyaDigi. So I'm creating a record. I'm creating a record for VidyaDigi. So I'm creating a record for now creating a record. So I want to access vidyadigi.com. And for this, I'm not pasting any IP. I don't have any IP. I have a DNS. So how to add this DNS? Now you click on alias. Once you click on alias, you choose the endpoint. Now my endpoint is application or classic load balancer. Now where your load balancer is? My load balancer is in Frankfurt. So you select Frankfurt. Once you select Frankfurt, And once you select it, yes, you are getting the same load balancer. Yes, you select it. And now what you do, you simply click on create record. Now what you did, now again go back to your slide. Now you added the DNS to Route 53. Now you will access VidyaDigi. When you access vidyadigi.com, so your request will first go to this DNS, and then via this DNS, it will hit this server. So it will take some time. We'll wait for it. So let me see the status. It is pending. Let's refresh it for a few seconds, and we'll see that once it comes to the picture, and then we access vidyadigi.com. And I would ask everyone, yeah, it is in sync. I would ask everyone to access vidyadigi.com. So you all can access. So again, here, if I again access vidyadigi.com, so yes, I'm able to access. Or if I again show you in a next window, vidyadigi.com, yes, I'm able to access. But now my request is not going on a IP. It is going on a load balancer, and on via load balancer, it is going to a server. But again, it is not secure. Parul, I don't want this. This is not secure. I want HTTPS. It is HTTP. Let me copy this and show you. Let me copy this and let me paste here. It is HTTP. Parul, I want HTTPS. How to do that? So for that, you have to go to Certificate Manager, which is the topic of our today's session. How to do that? So till now, our lab is done. I'll now go to Certificate Manager. So now I'm taking you to where? I'm taking you to Certificate Manager. So let's go and click on Certificate Manager. Certificate. So when you type here you have Certificate Manager. Open in a new tab. So once you open Certificate Manager in a new tab, you simply click on Request a Certificate. When you click on Request a Certificate, simple. When you click on, you have this Request a Public Certificate. Yes. You click on Next. You enter your fully qualified domain name. What is my fully qualified? VidyaDigi. vidyadigi.com. So I entered that. Fine. I am then going on DNS validation, or you can select email validation. It will send an email from where you know email which you have entered while purchasing a domain. I'm going with Rivas Shamir Edelson algorithm for encryptions, and now simply click on request. Once you click on request, you know right now there is no certificate, but once you click here, yeah, one certificate is issued, but validation is pending. Now when validation is pending, what you do? So what you can do, you simply click on your certificate ID. Once you click that, and you see here you are getting a create record in Route 53. So now via this you are creating one more record in Route 53. So simply you can click on create record and simply click on create record in Route 53. Now you will see one more record is created in Route 53. You go to vidyadigi.com, you go to vidyadigi.com here, and you see one which you have created, and one it is created by Certificate Manager. So this is, you can see, this is the record ID which is created by Certificate Manager. So this is created by Certificate Manager. Fine. So C name is nothing but canonical name which is created. Now what you do? Now you have seen that one is created. Now you again go to the Certificate Manager and you just refresh the page. Just refresh the page, and your certificate is issued. Your certificate is issued. Now, Parul, can I access my application? Can I application via HTTPS? No. Still something need to be done. Now what, Parul? What need to be done? Certificate is issued, everything. Now you go to load balancer. No. When you go to load balancer, this is the load balancer you created. When you go to listener and rule, here you have only port 80. What do you want? You want one more port 443 for HTTPS. So how you can do that? So in order to do that, you can click on add listener, and now you select HTTPS. You select HTTPS. That is via 443 you wanted to access the server. Okay. So forward to target group. Yes. Which target group? The target group which you have created is SpringPeople target group. Yes. Then next, what is your certificate? Is this from ACM? Yes. What is the certificate? This vidyadigi.com. So three things you have to do. From above, you have to select HTTPS, then your target group you create it, and then here in source section, you select the vidyadigi.com. Now, simple, you go and click on add, and done. You are done. Trust me, you are done. If you want, you can access your application now via HTTPS. So I enter here and write here HTTPS colon slash slash vidyadigi.com, vidyadigi.com. I'm able to, and here I'm not getting not secure. See, I can access via not secure method also, and I am accessing via secure method. You read this, connection is secure. Wow, my connection is secure. But Parul, I have a question for you. I said, what? Why you are accessing the same website via HTTP and HTTPS? Why not website should only be accessed via HTTP? If somebody is typing HTTPS only, why with HTTP? If somebody is typing HTTP, then it should go to HTTPS only. Can we do that? Yes, you can do this also. You can do this also. I'm really interested in doing this. How to do this? So in order now, what is your requirement? You wanted to block HTTP. Now nobody can access HTTP. So how you can do that? How you can do that? Now you go to your load balancer again. So now you go to your load balancer again. Once you go to your load balancer again, go to your listener and group again. Here, now you click on HTTP port 80. Now simply click on HTTP port 80. Fine. Here you have a rule section, which is a default rule. Click on your default rule. Fine. Simple. Click on your default rule. Now go to action and click on edit rule. Now what do you want to add it? Now what do you want to add it? That is added. You have to redirect. So you come down. Now you wanted to redirect the URL. Now you wanted what? So first of all, you go to edit rule. You select redirect the URL or redirect to URL. Now which URL? Fine. So which URL? So here is HTTPS and which is port number 443. 443. Fine. And now 443. Simple. You simply do one thing. You select redirect to URL, HTTPS, write the port number 443, and don't do even anything. Not required to do even anything. And you simply save the changes. You simply save the changes. So Parul, what will happen? Now you have blocked HTTP. Your website will only be accessed via HTTPS only. Parul, I don't trust you. You don't trust me? You go to, this is your not secure access. No, you press enter. It's become secure now. It is not secure. No, you simply press enter. You won't be able to access. If you don't trust me, you write HTTP, you write colon, you write slash slash, and you press enter. It is not going on HTTP. It is again going on your secure connection only. So this is what I wanted to teach you, my friends, my participant. What is the meaning of HTTPS? How to develop a secure connection. If you are, so you might have seen your banking applications, your so many applications are accessed via HTTPS. How it is done? So you create a certificates and then via certificates you do that. Fine. So you can do that. So coming back to the next is what we have discussed till now, and our lab is done. Now over to you, Reha.
Thank you, Parul, for your invaluable insights on technology. I'm sure it was certainly a very informative session for all of you. If you guys are interested in learning more about AWS course, do check out our super discounted batches of virtual instructor LED trainings on our website springpeople.com. These VILT trainings are leveraged online from the comforts of your home and flexible as per your schedule and location. If you do not find any suitable batches, we'd be happy to discuss and schedule private batches for you. If you don't have time to join live online, then do try out our affordable self-paced courses. For more information, do write to us at training@springpeople.com or call on our number displayed on the current slide. Now we will open the forum to answer questions that we have received during the session. So let's get our questions answered. Over to you, Parul.
Yeah, thank you so much. If you have any questions, anyone, please post your questions. I would love to answer those. As of now, I can see no questions. Any questions you have, you can please ask. You can please post. I think Rhea, they don't have any questions, so you can ask them for a feedback. Hi, Rhea, over to you now.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. We shall be sending out the webinar recordings to all you participants soon. I request you to kindly provide feedback before signing off, which will help us improve the quality of our future events. Thanks again for joining us today. Signing off on behalf of Team Spring People. Hope to see you again for our next expert webinar. Thank you.